pretty much all the speakers here have been talking about like the ideals of the Occupy movement and the principles of the Occupy movement. But now let's get down to hard facts, okay? In Occupy Oakland, the protesters ordered a general strike of the city and also shut down the port of Oakland, which is a really important part for like which is a really important point of commerce for the city. And by shutting off that port, they were pretty much cutting Oakland from their revenue. So let's see. Okay, from reports, Occupy Oakland has cost around $2 million a week. $2 million for the 2 weeks for the overtime that the police had to pay. And Oakland is not really known as the type of city that has like a lot of money coming in. It's already cashed out to begin with. And like if you let these occupiers just pretty much stay there indefinitely, like I suppose you won't have to file for a permit because there's going to be no more city to file it with. So that's pretty much like my point, because you can definitely talk about principles. Freedom of speech, definitely. Like American liberty, definitely. But also you have to remember that paying for police does cost money. Paying for cleanup does cost money. And all those things, like protests do cost money. And when the cities don't have enough money to cover for those things, then in the end, I suppose you can be occupying the big banks, but actually what you're doing is you're ruining your own city. So thank you, and I yield my time to questions.
Do you think that as the movement progresses, the violence will get better or worse?
I cannot speculate. Like with the Occupy movements just throughout America, I would say that most of the violence were isolated incidents, and they were from like maybe just like a homeless person coming in to like hang out at like Occupy, not like some organized let's all go and get a big brawl type of violence.
All right, in the back.
Maybe no, back here.
Gangbusters, rioting, paying police from many different communities around to overkill and then get a violent response.
Well, there's always you can always cite cases of police brutality, because but just like how there's violence within the Occupy camp, there are also certain like, I don't know if it's called battalions, but it's just like groups of police officers that might act out in ways that are different than how the entire police force may act. And I suppose in some ways you can say that's overkill, but in other ways you can say that it's protecting the citizens of that city.
All right, that'll be time.
All right, thank you everybody.
Could I get a motion to approve this section?